it is, or cars or other vehicles, jeeps or SUVs, whatever it is, what depending on your mindset, these namarupas, depending on the size, shape of the mindset, various namarupas will be filling up your mind. If you are a person who likes food, who likes, let's say, pizzas, various types of pizzas, various types of other food items, depending on your likeness, would be getting embedded in that mindset, which are namarupa. And depending on these namarupas, your systems, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body would become negatively charged or vexatious, would become vexatious, so that if you get that same item which is embedded in your mind, you would feel good. You would feel a blissful sensation. That is touch leading to Vedana, which is a delusional, blissful sensation. Everything here that we are talking right now can be felt by you without any problem. So that Vedana would lead to Tanha. Tanha means the attachment. Attachment would lead to clinging. Clinging would lead to Bhava. Now, Bhava, I have seen this seed. Seed means actually karma. Karma is the seed. Vijnana is the seed. Bhava is the action of, or the state. Let's say Raga state. A person acting in a Raga way is actually Bhava. Now he is in Raga Bhava. You can say like that. Raga state of being. State of being is acting in a certain way. Acting in a certain way creates that jati. Acting like a dog is the dog bhava. And dog bhava would create a dog jati. If you act like a human, even though, if you act like a dog, even though you are a human, at that point you are in dog jati. And the bhava is dog bhava. Because of dog bhava, only dog jati is seen. Because if you act like a human, nobody would be telling you a dog. If you act like a dog, then that action itself would create a dog jati. That's why this is a cause and effect. If only the cause is there, the effect would be created. That is why we talk it dependent origination. If one origination is dependent on the other, so it is a chain reaction. So the raga jati, if somebody is acting like a virtuous person and he is meditating, nobody would be saying that person a ragic person or a raga jati. But he would be labeled as a very virtuous person, very a person who meditates. That jati would be a person, meditating person would be the jati at the end, because it's a meditating state of being. That is what created the meditating jati. So just like that, raga jati would be creating a uh, raga bhava would be creating a raga jati. So we understand all the components here. This is very easy, very straightforward. Just like that, we need to understand Raga Paticca Samuppāda. When we know every component of the Pada, we know how our body has become negatively charged. We know how our body has created salayatana. We know how we feel the delusional blissful sensation. We know how we got attached and we are looking for the same thing again and again. We know how it created soka parideva dukkha domana supayas. Everything is tangible. Everything is you are able to feel everything here. But these things, the Patisampada, which is happening at a moment, cannot be understood. So if you don't feel dvesha at this moment, maybe many desha Patisampadas has felt because you are not able to understand that at this level, because the moha level covers up. You don't actually, you are not able to understand all the defilements that you are doing. If you are able to do that, you would not be doing it, because you can't understand how many defilements you are doing. The only the you can only the see you can only see the tip of the iceberg. You see the rough and dense raga, dvesha, and sometimes Moha. Most of the time, Moha is covered. Moha cannot be felt. So, so that is why it says in Kayanupassana and Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana, which is actually the Satrasatipatthana, Chattaro Satipatthano, and in Chattaro Satipatthano, it says Kaye Kayanupassi Viharati, Atapi Sampajano, Satima Vinaya Loke, Abhija, and Domanasam. And not, it does not talk about Moha. It talks about attachment and conflict. Attachment and conflict are the two things that you should focus on, because those are the two things that you are able to feel. You cannot feel Moha because Moha is hidden. When you get rid of these two, Moha would be felt. Now, when your mind becomes calm, without Raga and without Desha, you would be able to feel the Moha nature. You'd be able to feel the. Now, nobody can tell you, now this is Moha, this is how Moha is, this is how Moha looks like. You are the one who should. It's just like you. Nobody could tell you what Raga is if you don't know about Raga or Dvesha. If you didn't know about anger, what it feels like, the emotion about anger. I mean, emotion about Raga. Nobody can tell you that. You can somebody can give examples and give the necessary data to you, but you are the only one who understood that now this is Raga, this is what Dvesha looks like. But for Moha itself refers to a state where somebody covers up. So the nature of Moha is it is covering. It's like a cover. What is the nature of a cover? You cannot see what's inside. When you wrap things, you get a parcel, you get a box, and you wrap it with wrapping paper. Now you don't know what is inside. Just like that, Moha, the nature of Moha is it covers. When the things are covered, you cannot see. But Raga and Dvesha is easily identifiable. It is easily you are able to see it easily. So when you see Raga, when you see Dvesha, act on these things. Use the Idapacheta Patisampada, nothing else. So for Dvesha also, you know when Paticca occurs, you know when these Salayatana charges, oh, it is when it gets negatively charged, you know when you get angry, you become red, your heartbeat becomes heart rate becomes it increases, and you start to shiver. If you get that much angry, you start shivering. You would not be able to formulate words. You would not be able to talk. You would feel like killing. You would feel like you would feel like you are getting a headache, you are getting a stroke, just like that Salayatana created. And what you get, what you um what you touch, or the passa, and the Vedana created with passa would be not a very pleasant one. It would be very negative experience. And the jati which is created is very, very vexatious. And we would lead to soka paridev dukkha domana supayasa. But still you would not like to give up. So you would be creating a Dvesha Paticca again and again and again, and you would be scolding this person non-stop, without stopping, because you like that. You like that pain and suffering because of avidya. Oh, everything is covered up. So there's Raga as well as a Moha part. So Raga and Moha come together. Because of Moha only, the Raga is covered. So when the Raga is covered, you don't know what to do about Raga. But again, that's the same for Dvesha. So Dvesha comes with a component of Moha. So Dvesha is covered or wrapped with Moha. That's why you like pain and suffering, and you are doing it again and again. For Raga also it's the same. So what you do is you perform or you practice Chattaro Satipatthana. You do the Kaya Anupassana, Vedana Anupassana, Chitta Anupassana, and Dhamma Anupassana. When you do that, the problem, which is the covering up, would be unwrapped, and you would be able to see the reality of Raga, reality of Dvesha. What you do is what is avijja? Nitya Sukha Atta Subha idea. So, it is covered with Nitya Sukha Atta Subha idea. So what you do is Anicca Dukkha Anatta and Asubha, then you would see the reality of Raga and reality of Desha, and you would not want that. When you understand the reality, you would not be wanting that kind of a experience in your life. So you would be getting rid of Raga and Dvesha. That is what you should do. So that is the answer for the first question. So you cannot understand what kind of a Paticca that you are that is going on right now. So that is trying to work this the other way around. But the way you should work this out is when Raga comes, you should go to the Paticca then, not the other way around. So you should not see the Paticca and then go to the Raga. But when a Raga Chitta arises, when a Dvesa Chitta arises, or if you from whatever the method, if you understand now this is a Moha Chitta, then only you can apply it to the Paticca and decipher the problem and understand the answer, or get rid of the problem. I am curious about the case where only Moha Jati occurs due to Moha Paticca. To notice Moha Jati occurring in my life, my daily life. Yeah. So I'll give you an example about the very so the fine level of Moha cannot be identified. If we identify the fine level of Moha, you'd be Ariha. So that is the problem. Moha is very it is a very hidden. It is very hidden. It's there. We know it's there. But our level of wisdom only allows you to understand Moha to a certain level, and that level is manageable. But beyond that level is still not tangible or understandable, because you are not, um, you are not, your level of wisdom, or the level of wisdom is not sharp as much. For example, I'll give you an analogy. So if you have some kind of a meter, or let's say a meter that is very sensitive to its fourth decimal point, then you would be able to get a very uh, finer reading, very finer reading. You would be able to get a finer reading. But if you only have, let's say you have a scale that you use for weigh things. So this is a scale that is used to weigh people. So you get on the scale, it says 60 kilograms, 60 kg. So you keep a small piece of gold on this scale. Would you be would that scale be able to measure that? No, it would still show 0. But in reality, there's a small weight to that small piece of gold, but you are not able to do that. Just like that, that sensitivity of the weight, the weighing scale decided what reading that it gave. Just like that, if we have more a wisdom, a very high, powerful level of wisdom, then you would be able to weigh that small piece of gold without a problem. Just like that, you would be able to understand small or very fine level of moha as well. But depending on the wisdom, if the wisdom level is a bit low, then you would be able to understand up to that level, the moha up to that level, not to a very final level. So I'll give you a few examples about moha. So it is Vichikicha and Udacha. Udacha comes with actually mana, ego. So when you have superiority or inferiority complex, and when you are challenged, for example, Udacha is what created a Dvesha Paticca Samuppāda in our first example. So your teacher scolded you, your 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 colleague or peer scolded you, and a junior student scolded you. So you pursued the three as three different experiences. So in the first one, that was inferiority complex. In the second one, it is equal. So Sadithamana. And in the letter one, it is superiority complex. So Sayyamana. So in the level where you are challenged by an inferior, that dvesha. What you experience is dvesha. But I am referring on the moha, which is covering up the dvesha right now. That is comes with uddacha. So uddacha, you becomes angry because of the sense of self and ego. I think you get the idea about uddacha. So in the same way, it affected in a different way. It affected in a different way for the person who was your teacher. So in the teacher-student relationship, it was not that you did not develop that much of anger, that much of you felt a sense of defeat there, because you are challenged by your teacher, you were scolded by your teacher. So you just took a step back, and you're just okay with that, something like that. So that happened because of the inferiority complex there. So again comes with uddacha, but in a different way. The dvesha level is low, but uddacha is there. That's why you feel a feeling of suffering. Otherwise, there would not be a feeling of suffering. For an arihat, even if a teacher scolds, there's no feeling of suffering. For a person who has not become arihat, that can be there. So that is what uddacha is. What is vichikiccha? Vichikiccha is actually one meaning is the liking for the corrupted actions. That comes with moha, liking for corrupted actions. So another example meaning is the popular meaning, which is doubt. Now doubt leads to that first thing. The doubt leads to the former, which is liking for a corrupted action. What is doubt? We have to explain what is doubt. Now, if moha is covering up, when things are covered up, we cannot see the real thing. We cannot see what is inside. For example, there's a box, and this box is covered, and we can hear some kind of an animal or a machine or something is moving in that box, and box is going up and down, and you are very keen. You want to know what is inside that box, because it's covered, because you are covered with avijja as well. And arihat would not be wanting to know that. Arihat does not need to know that, because he knows that this world is anicca dukkha anatta. I don't want to know what is inside that box, because that box, what is inside that box is also anicca dukkha anatta and asubha. So what is the point in getting my mind and body tired, thinking and looking for what is inside? So he would be in a very neutral state about that. But a person with avidya, a person with moha, would be looking for what is inside. He would be asking people, what is inside that box? Is it a cat? Is it a dog? Is it some kind of a machine? What is inside that? And if you don't get the answer, you'd feel soka parideva dukkha domana supayas. That is doubt in that sense. And that led to vichikiccha, that is liking for corrupted actions. Because that is a corrupted action, that you are looking for something that is totally unimportant. Just like these people want to know the length from earth to moon, earth to sun. That is moha. That is vichikiccha. You don't like doubts. You want to know whether there are people in Mars. You want to know whether there's new species of animals under the sea. So you feel soka parideva dukkha domana supayasa because of that. Sometimes you die without oxygen in the deep water under the sea because of moha, because of vichikicha, because of liking corrupted actions, vichikicha. So I hope that clears up Uddhacca and vichikicha. So you don't need to classify these and understand these in this way, but what you need to do is, you need to understand the basic thing: ragakyo nibbanang, dosakyo nibbanang, mohakyo nibbanang. So when you know the three important pillars of nibbana, which is ragakya, dosakya, mohakya, what you and you need to know the pathway to achieve that, which is Satara Satipatthana, or the 37 Bodhipakshika Dhamma. So whatever you practice, Aryattangika Magga, Sattis, or again Satta Bojjanga, or again Pancha Bala, Pancha Indriya, or there's this Satara Samya Pradana, then Satara Iddhipada, and Satara uh, Satara Chattaro Satipatthana. Also, so these 37 things, there are 37 things. So you can practice based on your Indriya nature. You can take this one of these models and start practicing. And this practice is to get rid of abhijja and domanassa, and then you enter anagami state. Anagami state when you get rid of abhijja and domanassa. That is a person who has developed satipatthana. And to complete satipatthana, you have to get rid of moha as well. But whole lot of moha has already gone, because the moha which was attached with raga is gone, because you have eliminated abhijja, and the moha attached with desha is also gone, because you have eliminated domanassa. Since abhijja and domanassa is gone, whole lot of moha is also gone. There's this small fine level of moha where with the self of self, with the sense of self. Yeah, the in the question that was mentioned correctly. So with the sense of self, the moha with the sense of self is there, but that is after. You would not be able to understand that without a very calm and quiet and a very neutral mindset, which comes with elimination of raga and dosa. But you would understand the concept. Not that you'd not be able to understand the concept as well. You would be able to understand the concept, but you would not be able to act on that and identify that in your life, in your day-to-day life, where this is where my what do you call the sense of self occurred, and more than the sense of self, this is where my the final level of uddhacca, final level of ego, or mana, final level of avijja occurred. You will not be able to detect that level, because your scale that you use to do that, or the measuring equipment, which is wisdom, that is used to do that, is not sensitive to that level. When it becomes more and more sensitive, when you practice the Arya pathway, you would be able to understand or detect more and more defilements, more and more details, more and more raga, dosa, and more. That is the answer for that question. By any chance, is the birth of moha jati a state which there is no raga, dosa? I think that was also answered here. And the fourth question, I am curious about the state of blue. Yeah, I think we have discussed that as well. I think what you mentioned by highlighted with blue is the things in here in the Moha Paticca, which is Vichikicha and Uddhacca. We have discussed that as well. So the last one, which is, in conclusion, if I knew that Moha Jati had happened to me, what I have to do is immediately insight into sun from the perspective of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Right? Yeah, I think we have discuss that part as well. So anything you did not understand through this discussion, please free to put that into the chat here right now, and we'll wait few minutes. And if you don't have any questions regarding today's discussion, then we can wind up the discussion with a small punyanumodana. So I think the person, I think Mr. Xiang Han Kim, if I pronounced him correctly, put that question about ego and mana, but I think he was not there while we were discussing it, and sorry about that. We did not get the recording as well. I hope others might have recorded. If not, then we'll try to be specific, more specific on what you want to know about ego, and it might be a big explanation, and the area is very vast to explain. So be more specific, and we'll discuss it in another discussion, because you did not get the answer, you could not listen to the answer that we discussed. So since we didn't get any questions, I think Mr. Tushan, can we wind up the session, or should we wait some more time?
Theran Sarnai, everyone, and Theran Sarnai Thero. If there's no more further questions, we can wind up the session for today. Is there any questions for anyone? Any further? Seems like I think Thero, I think there's no more further questions in the chat box. We can wind up the session for today with the Anumodana then. Theran.
So today we discussed about the questions that you have sent to the WhatsApp chat, and during these discussions, we focused on Anicca Dukkha Anatta, the basic concepts of Arya Dhamma. And as very correctly said by Supreme Buddha, if somebody mentions or thinks about Anicca Dukkha Anatta, that is the highest meritorious deed that one can achieve. So we have been doing that for almost more than 2 hours actually. So we have been generating immeasurable amounts of meritorious power. And it is very important. This meritorious power would help us to complete the rest of the pathway and also to develop our wisdom. So these discussions would directly help us to develop our wisdom, and the meritorious power that is generated along the act, with the act, would help us to create the background as well as to develop the wisdom to complete the rest of the pathway. So all the meritorious power that is generated today with this discussion may agglomerate together, and may everyone get the perfect background to understand Arya Dhamma from a Kalyana Mitta, opening up the eyes of wisdom and attaining the supreme bliss of Nibbana with this meritorious power. Accept this blessing with the sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So with this discussion, we have generated immeasurable amounts of meritorious power. And we did not get this opportunity on our own. There are many people behind the scene. There are many people who has helped us to achieve this state. if we weren't born to this world as humans, as people in this era, at this point, we would not be able to listen to this Dhamma. Then we have our parents to thank to. We have our teachers to thank to, because if we did not know this language, because if we did not understand, if our intellect or our a level of understanding was low, then we would not be able to understand this Dhamma. So we have our teachers to thank to. And there are other individuals who helped us to have this discussion. There are people who donated these cellular devices, and also paying for these internet connections and maintaining these temples. And without them, we would not be able to have this discussion. There are people behind the scene managing these things, and we have the coordinator who is always doing this or conducting these discussions and informing you about these discussions. And there are other people who we don't mention, who we don't know about, that helps us to have these discussions. And likewise, there are devas and brahmas as well that we cannot see. So let us remind all of them as well. And there are people who are hurted and harmed by our actions during this sansaric journey. Let us think about them as well. Let us think. Let us settle all the liabilities we have towards them by sending these immeasurable amounts of meritorious power as a compensation to all the beings that were hurted and harmed by us. And also all the parents, teachers, and other individuals that helped us all during this sansara. And let us focus on all the sentient beings in the universe as well. Because for us and for everyone else, it is Nibbana, which is a salvation to end this suffering sansara. So for us, also for them, let us wish Nibbana. Let us hope Nibbana. So with that idea full of metta, let us spread this meritorious power to all of them with metta and kindness. If they are in miserable places, may they refrain from doing sinful acts. May they replace those sinful acts with meritorious deeds, and may they lead happy lives, ultimately understanding the reality of the world, attaining supreme bliss of Nibbana. With this idea in mind, with this idea in mind, transfer this meritorious power with metta and kindness with the sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
sadhu.
So we'll be ending the session with a Pali stanza. Abhivadana silissa nichang vaddhapchayino chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukham balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti minate samittatu. May everyone attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Okay, Thiruvan Saranai.
Thiruvan Saranai, Swaminathan. Thiruvan Saranai, everyone.
Saranai.
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 Everyone saranai.